from doing a special for the King of Lagos to having the Akishimoyi, that's the custodian of the Eyo Festival on the show, to having Omoba himself, that's the Bajulayi of Lagos, Omoba Oyekon, join us on the radio show, to having one of our friends, Prince TIAMIYU OLOJO KOSOKO, join us on the radio show at different intervals, ensuring that we try to keep the history of Lagos alive. Like they say, he who is without history is a nobody. We try as much as possible to set points and set facts for you and you who is part of this city, for you and you who is visiting for the very first time and feels it can have something to learn. There's nothing beautiful than having education that you can use. And today is one of started at 11:15 to the end of a backstory. Not so long ago, like 3-4 months ago, we had a conversation talking about the Studio Festival, to Kosoko's victories across board, to being the commercial king, to being the man who is in charge at that time of all markets in Lagos, and to being the family that still stands firm in what they believe as the culture of the beautiful people of Lagos State. Today on the show, we have a guest. We have the man who is currently the custodian of everything the family owns instead. We have the Oloja elect of Lagos. He's joining us. Good morning, sir. Welcome on the radio.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, so thank you. Welcome on Mainland FM. It is Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't forget that we are streaming live on our social media platforms. Go to YouTube. YouTube, it's at we would engage you. We're also on Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM. On X, formerly known as Twitter, we are Mainland 98.3 FM. Lagos from 1845, Oba from 1829 to 1834, 1835, and Olu, wealthy and powerful female slave owner, Odusi, Akinosa, Igbaluwo, Ogunloye, Siyemi, and Ladega. These are all siblings of Oba Kosoko. The death of Oba Ologun between 1800 to 1805 had awakened a new succession struggle between the sons Eshilokun and Adelio Ajosun. At that time, kingship was not determined by birth order, but there was the Makuomi fight, right? There was the war that ensued after all. Along the line of all this, Kosoko was said to have gotten on the bad side of the Eletu Odibo by marrying a woman betrothed to then Chief Eletu Odibo of Lagos, the powerful prime minister, the head of the Akariberi class of chiefs. It was the kingmaker vested with the authority to oversee the selection and installation of Obas. And the arrogance, according to the report, or according to written history, says that the arrogance from Kosoko's side would be the reason Eletu Odibo blocked him from getting to the throne more than once. The feud between these two men altered the Oba's succession many times and set the stage for the British intervention in Lagos in 1851. You give us more of that one, but if you go to read the Ḥpẹ́ history itself, it talks about the Ijebu version. It also talked about the fact that at the time, Kosoko was denied entry to the Ḥpẹ́ town, but after a long plea with then Ijebu, he obtained from clearance and permission from Awujale and Nikilaya, who at that time considered him as a mark of royalty and sent Oja Ikale as a symbol of permission and caring to Oloja Olumade, asking him to grant Kosoko and his lieutenant asylum in Ḥpẹ́. But the most special of all is that after all of the drama and the history that ensued between that time space, on the 15th to 16th of September in the year 1862, Kosoko rode into Lagos with his friends, families, and well-wishers. You give us some, this is a written history that anyone can go to the internet and see this. But you are the man who is the custodian of the family stories and all of his heritage. Are there any contradictions to what I've read out from your own end?
The way they wanted. But you see, you cannot tell the stories of an individual apart from the children or the descendants of that person. So there are some that I will not talk about here because they're still it is put in the court of law. And not until that one is cleared, we can
so
start
there's still legislation, there's still matters in the court of law.
Yes, based on what you just read.
Wow.
Yeah, so I won't talk about them because I'm educated enough to know that I don't need to talk about things that are still subject in the court of law.
Yes.
But basically, I'll tell you.
Tell us about Oba Kosoko himself.
Yes. King Kosoko, like is known to be, ruled Lagos between 1845 to 1851. And the bombardment of Lagos by the British resulted to the mass movement that gave birth to the various communities in Ethiopia. And that again resulted to them moving forward to where they founded ʟᴇ. So, and that's why I say I won't want to talk about that. So ʟᴇ is one kingdom of its own, which was the administrative headquarters of the commercial kingdom of KOSOKO. And the commercial kingdom of KOSOKO spanned around the Etiosa and the Ojuokun. In between these two sections is the Enyonsa. So that is where you have the Ojuoto. Ojuoto is where the Lekki deep sea port is sited now. And if you go there till date, the relics of KOSOKO is still there till tomorrow. You have his 48 dungeon where he keeps his slaves. This time around, the dungeon were not built on land, they were built underground. You have 48 of it still in existence till tomorrow. And you have the grave site of his children and great-grandchildren and followers are still there. So if you look at KOSOKO, there are three sets of people that follows KOSOKO all around. The Kabasias.
Who are the Kabasias?
The Kabasias are the free slaves who were turned to slave merchants and slave representatives in his business.
Okay, like middlemen.
Yes. Then you have the followers, well-wishers, friends that are siblings, supporters. Yes, supporters. Then you now have his chiefs. So if you look at the agreement signed between him and Queen Victoria in 1854, September 28, 1854, recognizing all these places I'm talking about as that of KOSOKO is there. Those are the people that signed. The Queen of England signed, the British representative signed, the captain of the warship also signed, representative of Obadosumu also signed, KOSOKO's followers signed, his chief also signed. Those are documents. And if you look at that, apart from that, there are also documents before the emergence of the British. KOSOKO has been writing letters, receiving letters from his friend, the Portuguese, before 1851. As far back as 1830.
Yeah, we had a conversation off the radio, and you talked about the fact that many people forget that the Portuguese were the first set of white people who domiciled here.
Yes.
Even far ahead of the British.
The British came in 1852. January 4, 1852. On a Thursday. So that is when the language and communication switched from Portuguese to English. So if you come to the King KOSOKO Memorial Museum, you get to see all these documents exhibited for people to see.
But you talked about the dungeons. I would like to puncture you as we have a conversation.
Yeah.
You talked about the dungeons, the relics of Oba KOSOKO's time in today's Ethiopia, around the Lekki depots, currently depots in Lekki axis.
Yes.
As the family decided to turn those sites to some heritage sites or a museum of some sort.
Yeah, that's why we're looking at. We've been having a very good conversation with our family members, descendants of his followers that are in all these places, and we're talking beautifully well. The Baduri platform is still there. You see the canal, you see the spiritual defense wall, you see the physical defense wall in Obadure.
Oh, that's what it means.
Yes.
Obadure, a place of a safe landing for the king.
Yes. Obadure, that is the gateway to the commercial kingdom of KOSOKO.
Oh, Obadure.
Yeah. So now those relics are there, but the good thing is that we've been able to get certification from federal government and state government for King KOSOKO Memorial Museum. So what we're doing is to start looking at how to make those things to conform with the estate developmental process that is in existence within that axis. Because, people will definitely want to build houses, sell lands, forgetting the fact that there are things that you need to keep alive to continue to make your existence be well seen and well recognized. So, in as far as I'm concerned, those are the things I'm holding stronger to. So, bringing all this together, KOSOKO has those places as his commercial kingdom, and has ʟᴇ as his administrative headquarters. He has his house there. The relics of his building is still there. Name going by the name of district and all the rest. But when the British realized that Lagos Island commercial activities is no more in existence, going by what they want to do, and Obadosumu was also looking for other partners to make the commercial activities to come back to life. And the British realized from local information, that KOSOKO has left Lagos with the commercial spirit. Because the moment he left Lagos, as at 1852, he has established a new port.
I think I have to break your thoughts for a moment. We have to go on a short break to have the headline news. After the headline news, for sure, we'll continue our conversation. Still in the studio with us on Lagos Through the Ages on mainland 98.3 FM, I have Prince TIAMIYU OLOJO KOSOKO. Is the OLOJA elect of Lagos. We are here to talk KOSOKO's return to Lagos, the 16th of September, 1862. Will be in review here. We'll also talk a bit about how special KOSOKO is and what makes him unique as the OLOJA of Lagos. Mainland FM 98.3 is the station you're locked on to.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Mainland FM 98.3.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good morning. Headline news on Mainland FM. My name is Sage Babalola. Federal government moves NIMC to Ministry of Interior to smooth in passport processing. Reps fault NLC over lawmakers' 100 million naira palliative. OAU student management in showdown due to fee hike. Tinubu commiserates with Libya over Storm Daniel and resulting floods, pledges Nigeria's support. In business, history in Nigeria as NUPRC picks 42 winners for gas flare commercialization bid round. Nigeria may float ombudsman to defend poor citizens against unfair taxes and levies. On the foreign scene, fears of up to 20,000 dead after catastrophic Libya flood. Spanish police arrest man for touching reporter's bottom on live TV. In sport, Super Eagles goalkeeper signed contract extension with Omonia Nicosia. Barcelona preparing to push for Man City's Haaland in 2024. That is the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at noon.
Introducing
Welcome back on the show. It is Lagos Through the Ages on mainland 98.3 FM. My name is JAYDAN on this radio station. I have my guest, Prince TIAMIYU OLOJO KOSOKO, the OLOJA elect of Lagos. And we are discussing King KOSOKO's return to Lagos on the 16th of September 1862. The gallant return of King KOSOKO after a 10 years exile in Əkpẹ́. And we have the man who is the custodian of all that the family stands for joining us on the radio station today to give us some clarity and to dispute some of the narratives that the newspapers, the articles over time. Like I say, a story has three meanings, it has three forms. There's the truth, there's the opinion of who wrote it, and there's popular narrative. The popular narrative might not necessarily be the truth. And the truth is maybe domiciled in one or two minds or two mouths or hands. And we have a system where oral history in this part of the world sometimes contradict. And a lot of the oral history which has become popular narrative are mostly myth and legends. But we have someone who says that, and in the conversation that we had before the radio show itself, he said Oba KOSOKO is regarded as one of the only few people who has almost every facet of his life documented because of his exploits as a commercial, as an industrialist. That's the perfect word to use, right? Isn't it?
Okay, I think that is also
industrialist is I seen a back market man.
Yeah. You know, one thing about this man is that you cannot use one word to define him. For every part of for everything that has happened in Lagos, he has contributed to it. The commercial activities, the land, the territorial expansion, the ownership pattern, the business pattern, he has been involved in it all. But we're looking at what resulted to the return of 1862. And it's a celebration that we've done for the first time last year when it became 160 years of his return. So this year we are just marking the 161 years of King KOSOKO return to Lagos. So basically, the things that resulted to him coming back was in order to bring back, one, the commercial activities of Lagos, two, to also help the colonial government to have peace situation within the Lagos waters. And for KOSOKO, for that to happen, they need KOSOKO around. The first thing is the commercial activities. And what they did was to discuss with KOSOKO, make him return to Lagos, build for him a palace in the Eriko section of Lagos. The palace is built facing the water. In there is a 6-bedroom detached house built on over a 4.2 hectares of land with a crown ground attached to it in 1867. So he was alive that he received the certificate of the crown ground when he was alive. So that purpose brought about the commercial activity.
The palace is not that big any longer.
The
palace is not that big any longer.
The palace is big.
It retains all of those space?
Yes. Every structure is still there.
Wow.
Apart from the gatehouse and some other things that have gone.
Okay.
Owing to the expansion and the commercial activities of Lagos and that area. But when he returned, they built that place for him. He stays in there. He was living in there. And that brought about the commercial activities back to Lagos. It brought defense, it brought security, safety, it brought trust. And the commercial activities jump-started. That again resulted to the collapse of the commercial activities in Ḥepe and the Etiosa area. That brought the 2 factories that were built in plate manufacturing in Ḥepe Marina into extinction. So if you come to the palace today, we have relics of those plates given to him. It is in the museum.
Wow, that's a lot. There's a backstory.
Yeah.
How do you describe about KOSOKO's time, King KOSOKO's time in Ḥepe? History says that a lot of the friends he took are Muslims, and because of him, basically, is why the expansion of that religion itself in Ḥepe, despite the fact that it is said that Ḥepe is literally the capital of Islam in Lagos at this time. Was there any form of correlation?
Okay. Yeah. Let me also this we talked about this in the past in this previous Kayo festival.
Okay.
You see, when KOSOKO was leaving Lagos, the Muslim community follows him.
Yeah.
The traditional religion community also follows him. The traditional religion have his people, the Oluwo, the people that are head and custodian of various deities. They went with him. And on that trip, the most senior person within that trip is Oluwo Aino, the current Jakonde
of Lagos.
Oluwo Aino went with him. So Oluwo Aino was the one using Ifa oracle to determine their path. Where they should stay and where they should not stay. Where they should put work camp and where they should not put work camp. That resulted to most of the names you are having within the axis of Etiosa. They were names that were designed for various kind of purposes. That it is just we alone that knows those things. Those people there knows it, but they just pretend not to want to talk about it. On getting to Ḥepe, the Ifa, there's a lot of things they were done. That's why I'm going to be very skeptical.
About some details.
Yeah. They did that and they got to Ḥepe. Why the spiritual process were on, it was in 2 forms, the traditional and the Islamic. And the Islamic process was headed by Malam Haudu.
Who was one of the Fulani men that left.
Yes. So he's a Muslim cleric. So they were doing the necessary prayer and they did the unto and whatever they did. On the final day, which is on the 21st day, they had to use that to do a final cleansing. But you see, when KOSOKO was returning, he decided to leave 3 Baloguns with him. You have Ḥeposun, Ajeniya, and Dada Antonio. But Dada Antonio died with KOSOKO's kid brother called Adebaju.
Okay, I mentioned his name last time. Right?
Yes, Adebaju. They died in the Omo Creek.
Oh, where is the Omo resort today?
Yes, they died in the Omo Creek. At that point, so they were left with just 2. So those 2 Baloguns were the ones sitting with all their affairs. The only most senior Afars that went back with KOSOKO to Lagos is Afar Salu, who was his first imam, chief imam of Lagos. The other ones were there. So it was the remnants of the Afars, the Muslim community, and the two Baloguns that were there that they put up together that founded the royal homes and chieftaincy families of the Ekpe kingdom today.
Those two Baloguns,
Iṛsᴜ and Ajeniya. So the other ones were Islamic clerics, because what he wanted to do is to make sure that he protected them. And what
he died, a leading figure among followers of KOSOKO in that's 1875.
Yeah.
Because she's from a better though.
Yeah, the return of 1862 gave birth to two major things.
So let's talk about that now. Let's begin to progress into what.
The return resulted to the founding of the Ekpe community, and also the establishment of Iriku Palace, the official residence and palace of King KOSOKO, who happened to be the Olojo of Lagos, while Oba Dosumu was the king of Lagos. So KOSOKO was the commandant and coordinator of all markets within Lagos and its environs, because he was the one that see to the extension of all this market before. So he was also given the authority to go ahead and establish that in a letter written to the British government in 1863.
So what you're saying now is that every time, so if there was a market that was always bubbling, maybe you have people come from across the states or across the small communities, the water-bound communities, because Lagos is an island. At that time, when KOSOKO moved to Ekpe, after the first, when it was exiled to Ekpe, it meant that all of those activities reduced to the barest minimum.
Yes. Some even go into extinction.
Wow. So the Ekpe that we all and the Eweko market and palace at this time are a big part of the Lagos community today. How is there a certain form of leadership that they fall under? As maybe there's a baile or still basically controlled, because it's a big part of the KOSOKO family, and many people will not know. Are you the leader of that small community now, or is still under domiciled under the Oba of Lagos as territory?
You see, Lagos is divided into about 6 sections. You have the Saleko, you have the Ekpe, you have the Ologbou, you have the Iriku, you have the
Brazilian quarters.
That's
the Lagos Island.
Lagos Island. So divided into various sections. But you see, every sections.
Idumagbo.
Idumagbo is just the streets. It's just an area inside the Isaleko. You understand? Every one of them falls under the control
of the Oba
of Lagos. It's called Oba of Lagos, and Lagos has various sections and communities, and those areas also have heads who are the Oloyes here and there. So each one of those Oloye represents the Oba of Lagos in those places, and they come back to give reports. So also it's also happened outside Lagos Island. The other side too, you have the Ojora area. Everybody comes again to the palace. It is just civilization and the expansion of control that resulted to other Obas here and there. But the basic truth is that Oba of Lagos controls is the chief custodians of the matters that affect Lagos.
Okay, let's talk about KOSOKO's reign as king. So before the exile to Ekpe and the return, something ensued. In a few minutes, I know you don't like to dwell on that. Give us a bit history of KOSOKO's reign as Oba of Lagos.
KOSOKO has been the Olojo of Lagos before becoming the Oba of Lagos. As far back as 1833.
So as a prince, he was quite wealthy.
He was wealthy, very wealthy. Because in Suriki talks about it. KOSOKO, Moromfulu, Okoye, the only heir to the throne. But you see, when politics sets into royal Obaship issues, it breaks down the royal houses, and that was what happened to the Lagos house the King Ado Royal House. So, during this time as the Oba of Lagos, all his friends who were slave merchants, big merchants all over West African coasts, all moved into Lagos. Because Lagos was the safest point for them to do their businesses. So, despite the fact that slave trade has been abolished in other places all over the world, Lagos was still involved. And KOSOKO was collecting his levy. It was during that time too, Ajayi Crowther was also given to him in lieu of levy.
Oh, okay.
That resulted to him being tied to the breadfruit tree.
Yeah, breadfruit.
That again resulted to him coming back to use the breadfruit 100
Oats almost every year.
Yeah.
I know there was one last year.
Yeah.
And not so long ago, early this year, if I'm correct, there was also an event. Was it early this year?
Yeah, we have reminiscence.
Yeah, reminiscence.
Yes, marking his death. Yes, that is we marked his 153 years of his demise.
So the return is on the 15th and the 16th. Give us a run through of what for the generation yet unborn to know how important King.
Our own children, most people does not believe he's human. Yeah, they don't believe he's human. So, and people don't even know that his palace exists in the heart of Lagos. His gravesite is still in existence in Lagos. Know his palace, read about what he has done, feel his relics. Relics of over 200 years of his life are still in place. You can see and also start seeing the importance of how that man lives his lives when he was alive out. So, and we won't stop. We'll continue using all other platforms. Blackmail that you see in the books and some, Hill was you read through some other pages of books by other people, and so you can know that you can start sieving the truth out of the lies yourself. So I'm not going to be the one to tell family who has done great things in Lagos and also in Africa.
So what events do we expect on the return? Is there, because off the radio?
Yeah, a quick stage drama. We allow the Igbi music to come to life, put into music formats.
So it's like an oral documentary?
Yes, it's like an a cappella by women.
Oh, okay.
It's an a cappella by women. They talk the history of Lagos. They talked about every household of Lagos. That is where the true history of Lagos is hidden. But the last set of people that were involved died about 44 years ago. So people that are there now don't know the true history, the true songs.
Yeah, why didn't they pass it from generation to generation?
Because that is what you see when you have Lagos. You say it's a cosmopolitan into the current trend and let it become a revenue generating and a recognition,
almost a tourist point of tourist attractions itself.
So what you see, something happened. The last Oloja of Lagos, who happened to be the great grandson of King KOSOKO.
You are a great grandson.
I'm of the 7th generation.
7th, okay.
Yes, he had a recorded version of all these songs, over 200 of them.
Wow.
In his radiogram. So what we did was to start getting those things one by one, for us to start giving it out to the same way. So we are bringing them together to restart, to give them the music back, to start playing back.
Wow. The KOSOKO family are quite detailed.
So those are the things we're doing. So, and we're looking at how to also have a very good presentation. Now we have a very good, the executive governor has sworn in the commissioners and the special advisor. So we want to take it to them. Because that is where the history of Lagos is hidden. That is where names and places of Lagos that has meaning were being talked about. So we, the KOSOKO dynasty, are bringing it out. We want to let people see it.
It's an enjoyable feat. It's Mainland 98.3 FM. We are the sound of Lagos. You can watch our stream. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. It's Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Jaydan or Kunle Daniel. I have my guest, Prince TIAMIYU Olojo KOSOKO. He is the Oloja elect of Lagos. He's a custodian of the KOSOKO family. He's the man who is inviting everyone to the family's palace on Martin Street.
Oreko Street.
Eweko Street. Eweko is not so far from Idumota, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Idumota is a landmark.
Yeah, it's the landmark.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Eweko, you know, if you watch Nigerian movie,
yeah.
Say number 115 Eweko Street.
Okay, for those
for
CD
sellers, that's like a landmark.
Yeah.
Idumota Leko.
Yeah. Eweko is a section. Idumota is also a section. Between Idumota, you have Okealeji. And you have Idusagbe. Those are 3 areas that you meet at the entrance. Beneath it by the waterfront, you have Ibutero. Every one of those areas has important role they have played in the history of Lagos.
I agree completely. So you're invite them once again. Invite them, talk to them.
Yes, I'm inviting well-wishers and the friend of Lagos and the friends, people that understand the importance of history and the cultural heritage of Lagos. That will be celebrating 161 years of the return of King KOSOKO from Epe to Lagos. And the palace will be open for people to come around and see, move around King KOSOKO's palace and feel the ambience of the King KOSOKO's palace, touch the relics of King KOSOKO himself, and also see the importance of a documentation before the British came into Nigeria, into Lagos, and the documentation of the British where they're in Lagos. All this you have in one jiffy when you visit King KOSOKO's palace.
Tomorrow is my birthday. I wish I could come, but I think I'm going to be there on Saturday.
I'll be
I have an
waiting for you.
exhibition to come, so I'll most likely come to the palace on Saturday, come and see it myself. But in the last few months as the OLOJA of Lagos, the OLOJA-elect of Lagos, how do you feel? Do you feel sometimes overwhelmed by the amount of responsibility that you have to carry? The man that stands for the family, the man that has a business and the family of his own, and the man who is a custodian of such a wonderful royal dynasty. Don't you feel overwhelmed sometimes?
Yeah. You know, I don't feel. It's just that, you see, I have it makes me happy. Like, if it doesn't happen, if I don't get those pressure, I tend to pinch myself and say, are you still sleeping, or you're dead? But when they come around, it makes me to know that it makes me get closer to my people. It makes me want to get the elders closer and let them see the important role they should play that they're not playing. So it doesn't overwhelm me. I carry it with all pride, and it makes me happy.
So for those who are tuned in for the very first time, what does the OLOJA elect, or what does the OLOJA of Lagos mean? What does he do?
Yeah, the OLOJA of Lagos is the custodian of all the markets in Lagos, the grand commandant of all the markets in Lagos, as far back as 1833 till date.
Yes, and the first OLOJA of Lagos is King KOSOKO.
Yes, and the second one is Oteniya Mohammed. The third one is Aminu KOSOKO, and the fourth one is Adebola Disuige.
That's the one before you.
Yes.
Yes, but you're all from the KOSOKO royal family. The ʟɪᴠᴜᴜ family, like, I think our former conversation states that prior to now, there used to be just one ruling on Obado, and the children, it used to be a descendant. However, it has broken down to 5, or how many, 5 or 7?
No, it should be 5 now. Let's see, because it's supposed to be, Obado had 3 wives.
Yeah.
One gave birth to Gabaru.
Yeah, Gabaru first.
Yes, Gabaru gave birth to ʟɪᴜᴜ. They both died like that. Nothing is to show for their own existence. Then Akishimoye is the second one.
Yeah.
So Akishimoye also had his own descendants. The third wife is Olubani, who had Ologunwutere, Shokun, and Benegun. But now Benegun didn't have any child. So Shokun had, but Ologunwutere had Adele, Eshilokun, Akiolu, Olusi, Olukoga, Akitoye. So 6. Now 6. So if you had Akishimoye to it, it's 7. So these are the 7 ruling houses that is supposed to present a candidate for the Oba of Lagos.
And that's how it is till date.
Till tomorrow.
We have to leave. Once more, invite the people out there, the palace. So on behalf of the KOSOKO dynasty in Lagos, Mainland 98.3 FM is inviting you to be a big part of history. It's a big part of what Lagos really stands for, a big part of what our culture really is. You need to go there and see the ambience. You need to feel what it used to be before the advent of the British, before technology took all of our history away, before trends made us feel our history and our culture is unfashionable. Because, like they say, a person without history is just like a living dead. It's only important that across Lagos Island and across different parts of Lagos, there are a few things that will take us back in time to what it used to be before now. And I think it's important that if you are free on Friday, which is tomorrow,
Saturday.
and on Saturday, which is the 16th
Yeah.
of September, you should go to the palace in Eweko Street on Lagos Island. Maybe you see Adekunle Gold or Prince Jide Kosoko. At least those are your
of course.
popular celebs who you can always relate the Kosoko family to. And I think it's only important that someone like our own guest here, Prince TIAMIYU, is a big part of this. Thank you very much for all that you do for the family. I'm sure that it is beautiful doing all of this. Like you said, the stress, the pressure keeps you alive. And I pray by the powers of our ancestors that it would continue to keep you strong. What's your final words to your family members? And like I say, what is the relationship between the Kosoko ruling home with all of the family members that all descended from Ologo?
Yeah, that has been, you see, it has always been mutual. And, everybody, we see ourselves as brothers. Omoba, the prince. And it's just that it ends up there. We've not been able to find ourselves within the corridor of power in the political section. But within the traditional institution, we are there. And we give ourselves the necessary respect when necessary. And we give ourselves the necessary support when due. So, to my fellow King Kosoko royal family descendants, I just want to tell you people that just like you asked me to do it, I'm doing it, and I hope that I'll continue to get your support. Just you've been giving it to me for the past 3 years, and I'll still get more again. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to serve the family. I remain your chief servant, ABIOLA Kosoko.
Thank you very much, Prince TIAMIYU OLOJO Kosoko, for being our guest. My name is Kunle Daniel. It is Mainland 98.3 FM. We are the sound of Lagos. At 12 o'clock, there's the news in detail. At 3 o'clock, I'm back for Lagos Street Ages. But in the meantime, let's listen to some Fatai Rolling Dollar, ᴏᴜᴜᴜ. Enjoy.
Babaja mọ́múrè dí ọ̀pẹ méjì ó ṣe bójú ń pa àwọn ni ojú pàkí lágbá kan kó dágbá kan sí ojú pa mí kó má ṣe pọ̀ rẹ́ mi mọ́ Èkó Àkété ìlú ọgbọ́n Èkó Àkété ìlú ọgbọ́n. Arọ́mọdé kó má má já o, Èkó arọ́mìsá. Sọmọrí àdúgbò yìí ẹ jáde wá.
Rock the groove. It's music extravaganza, where the beat gets hotter. Mainland 98.3.
Baby, let's go.
The sound of Lagos.
Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
This is the Global News on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Global News on Mainland FM. In the highlight, federal government moves NIMC to Ministry of Interior to smoothing passport processing. OAU student management in showdown due to fee hike. Tinubu commiserates with Libya over Storm Daniel and resulting flood, pledges Nigeria's support. And business history in Nigeria as NUPRC picks 42 winners for gas flare commercialization bid round. On the foreign scene, fears of up to 20,000 dead after catastrophic Libya flood. In sport, Super Eagles goalkeeper signs contract extension with Omonia Nicosia. Now the news in detail. I am Sage Babalola. In a bid to resolve issues around passport processing, The federal government has moved the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, to the Ministry of Interior. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a fulfillment of his promise to ensure proper coordination of the identity data of Nigerians, has lately been making some modifications to the operations of the Nigeria Immigration Service, the agency that issues passports. The move is said to be in line with President Bola Tinubu's directive to remove all impediment and bottlenecks from obtaining passports. Until now, the NIMC was domiciled under the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. Recall that the Minister of Interior recently promised that Nigerians will soon enjoy efficient service from the Nigerian Immigration Service. Tunji-Ojo said his ministry is working with the NIS to ensure that the process for applying for and obtaining passport is completed within 2 weeks. The House of Representatives has denied claims by the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress that the federal government gave 100 million naira to members of the National Assembly as palliatives. The National Assistant Secretary of the NLC, Christopher Onyeka, on Wednesday made the allegation in a statement issued in Abuja. Reacting to the allegation, the House Committee Chairman on Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotimi, described the allegation as baseless and devoid of factual accuracy. The House of Rep considers it most unfortunate that Onyeka would misrepresent facts in a bid to lend credence to otherwise valid demands of the NLC, while seeking to denigrate the National Assembly and inciting the public against the institution. Accordingly, the House of Representatives demands an immediate retraction of this lie and a public apology from the Nigeria Labour Congress, as they wish to invite the NLC to see the National Assembly as partners rather than adversaries. Meanwhile, the management of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife in Osun State, and the Student Union Government, SUG, are at loggerheads following the school's decision to introduce a new school